Welcome to lesson 42 of algebraic concept, literal equations. Welcome to lesson 42 of algebraic concept, literal equations. So what are literal equations? Okay, literal equations contain two or more variables, and sometimes you will just solve for a letter. So let's look at a literal equation. A cricket chirps according to the formula where F is the temperature in Fahrenheit and N is the number of chirps. So now we have two variables, our F and our N. And so now we have to be given one or more. So you can only solve for one variable at a time, but sometimes you will just solve for letters to isolate letters. So in this instance, we're going to stick the 80 in for F. We're going to substitute n over 4 plus 40. And we will get the number of chirps. So 80 equals n over 4 plus 40. We're going to subtract 40 from both sides. And 40 equals n over 4 times 4 times 4. You get 160 equals n. So that's a chirpy cricket 160 times at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, let's look at example 2. Distance equals rate times time. So now watch this. Your science teachers will give you a little triangle. A distance equals rate times time, or a circle. Doesn't matter. Where it is vertical line means multiply, and a horizontal line always means divide. So divide here and multiply there. So basically what you do is you put your finger over what you're looking for. If you don't have distance, you do rate times time. If you don't have time, it's distance divided by the rate. If you don't have the rate, it's distance divided by time. Rate is the same as speed. And coming out of ratios, we should remember that. So find the speed of a car that travels 130 miles in 4 hours. So we stick it in, our distance, 130, 4 hours is a time, and that will give us the rate. And so 130 divided by 4 is 32.5 miles per hour. Miles per hour. Okay, so now do the same thing. 4 hours is a time. 60 miles per hour. Oh, okay, so we multiply by 60. Now we're finding a D. So D will equal 4 times 60, which is 240. 240 miles. Okay, there we go. Okay, so our final example. Fahrenheit equals 9/5 Celsius plus 32. So what is the Fahrenheit temperature of 25°C? So basically we stick 25 in for C, and when we substitute, we use our parentheses. So we cross multiply. 9 times 5 is 45 plus 32 gives us 77 as Fahrenheit. So we solve for that one on the previous page, but I'll do it again. We We stick the Fahrenheit in there, the Celsius to get the Fahrenheit out. 45 plus 32 is 77. Okay. So now for this one, we stick 98.6 equals 9/5 C plus 32. And now we solve this equation. We subtract 32 from both sides. We get 66.6 equals 9.5. To get rid of the fraction, we multiply by its inverse, times by 5 over 9. All right, 66.6 times 5 divided by 9 equals 37. Using our calculator. Okay, so that is our example, our third example. And those were our examples for this lesson. I will see you at the end of the video for the recap. Okay, A equals 1/2 base times height. This is the formula for a triangle. Find H when A is 36 and B is 6. Now, what I could have done and probably should have done for the record is to move all the letters and isolate the variable. But sometimes it's just easier to show you the numbers. So I'm going to do it both ways. So let me do this in red. Technically, this is what you're supposed to do. We want to isolate the H. When it says find the H, we want the H alone where the A is. 1H, positive 1H. So how do you do that? The first thing you want to do is get rid of the 2. So multiply by 2 on both sides. Now we have 2A equals BH. Then we divide by B. And so now 2A over B equals H. Now the H is by itself all alone. And from here, we would just plug in our numbers. 2 times 36 over 6, which would give us 72 divided by 6 is 12. 12 meters. Okay, so let me solve it the traditional way. So I put 36 equals 1/2 6h. So 36 equals 3h. Divide by 3, divide by 3, we get 12 equals h. Or 12 meters equals the height. So as you can see, you get the same thing. I should have picked some literal equations that had numbers, all right? And we're going to get off into this later, but here is a interest problem. And 5,000 So technically what you're supposed to do is A equals P 1 plus R. We want to solve for P. So if we divide 1 plus R on both sides, we get A over 1 plus R equals P. And then you stick your numbers in. 5,000 over 1 plus 0.04. And then 5,000 divided by 1.04 equals 4807.69. And we had to round off to the hundredth because we're dealing with dollars. And we know that dollars only goes to 2 decimals behind, 2 numbers behind the decimal, to the right of the decimal, to the hundredth place. So that was actually formulas. And I probably should add another video in here on literal equations just to show you solving for letters, which I didn't do. I got to think about that one. All right, so that was this video, formulas, and we're going to move into some other ones, and I will see you on the next video.